In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into a multitude of pressing topics, primarily focusing on the evolving dynamics of the trade war initiated by the Trump administration, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and the implications of recent economic forecasts. The discussion is framed within the context of the current political landscape, highlighting the challenges faced by both the Trump administration and the Democratic Party. Shapiro begins by addressing the fluctuations in the stock market, attributing the recent uptick to President Trump's apparent shift away from the aggressive trade war stance that has characterized his administration. He notes that the stock market has responded positively to signals suggesting a potential de-escalation of tariffs, particularly with China. This change in tone is seen as a necessary response to the economic pressures that have been mounting due to the trade war, which has led to significant concerns about a global economic slowdown. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has recently downgraded its global growth forecasts, indicating that the economic landscape is more precarious than previously anticipated. Shapiro emphasizes that the Trump administration's trade policies have contributed to this uncertainty, with tariffs reaching unprecedented levels. He discusses how Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has indicated that a de-escalation of the trade war is imminent, which has further buoyed market confidence. Transitioning to international affairs, Shapiro highlights the recent developments in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. He reports on the cancellation of high-level talks that were set to take place in London, which were intended to address the war that has persisted since February 22. 2. The cancellation, prompted by Secretary of State Marco Rubio's withdrawal, has raised concerns about the future of diplomatic efforts aimed at achieving a ceasefire. Shapiro outlines the terms being proposed by the Trump administration, which he describes as favorable to Russia. These terms include lifting economic sanctions and recognizing Crimea as part of Russia, which poses significant challenges for Ukraine, given its constitutional commitment to NATO membership and territorial integrity. Despite Ukraine's willingness to accept a ceasefire, the ongoing military actions, including drone strikes from Russia, complicate the situation further. The podcast also delves into the broader economic implications of the trade war and the conflict in Ukraine. Shapiro discusses how the economic forecasts from the IMF suggest a potential recession, with the U.S. economy facing significant challenges. He notes that the administration's ability to navigate these economic waters will be crucial for Trump's political future, as a thriving economy is often seen as a prerequisite for successful governance. Shapiro reflects on the mixed signals coming from the Trump administration regarding economic policy, particularly concerning Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. He mentions Trump's previous threats to fire Powell, which have since been retracted, leading to a more stable market environment. The podcast underscores the importance of clear and consistent messaging from the administration to maintain market confidence. As the discussion progresses, Shapiro shifts focus to the Democratic Party's current predicament. He observes that the party appears to be struggling to articulate a coherent message, with internal divisions becoming increasingly apparent. The term dark woke is introduced as a new strategy among Democrats to reclaim some of the combative rhetoric that has characterized Republican politics. Shapiro critiques this approach, suggesting that it may not resonate with voters who are looking for substantive solutions rather than mere slogans. He also touches on the challenges faced by prominent Democratic figures, including Elizabeth Warren, who has been questioned about her previous assertions regarding President Biden's mental acuity. Shapiro highlights the difficulty Democrats face in addressing Biden's health and the implications it has for their electoral prospects.